Hey everyone, Build It here. I'm going to attempt to use matter control to design a pegboard mount for T-handle hex wrenches. So I have a whole set of hex wrenches from like 10 millimeter, which is pretty large. So you can see it's 10 millimeters. You read it right there. It says it. All the way up, all the way down to I don't know what size this is. I think this is the smallest one right here. So this is that's an inch. That's a 1/32 or 3/32 inch. I didn't know I had inch ones in here. 7/64, 1/8. There's a 5 millimeter, a 3 millimeter. Inches again, 1/4 inch. So I think I'll be designing two of these. I'll do one for the metric ones and one for the metric ones. Seem to be missing a couple here, probably because I've been using them somewhere. Let's see it in my toolbox here, but I'll find it later. Anyway. So I'll be designing a holder for these. So the goal is basically to start off with a cube, stretch it out in one direction to make it long enough to hold the T-handle, basically out to about where the end of the rubber is on it, and then make it wide enough for the wide piece on this one, and then have a hole in the bottom that will allow the hex itself to fit through. So that's the goal of the first part. And then I'm just going to add a cube onto it, and I'll merge everything else. So it'll be a lot of merging and subtracting in order to make this happen. So that's the overall goal here. I'm going to attempt this. I use matter control a little bit, but not a whole lot. So I know it's going to be a little bit of a learning curve here. So I just put a cube on. So I double click in the cube, it'll put the cube right in the middle of the build plate. This was something that didn't work properly in the previous version of matter control. It was one of the things I actually wrote to them and said, this really should happen this way, because every other program I work with, and other programs like that, put it right in the middle of the build surface. So that's what it should be. I have this right now set for a Creality Ender 3 build plate because I do have a Creality printer. I also have a CR10, I have many others, but anyway. Currently, I just set it for that, just for something to build on and not worry about it too much. So we need to stretch the cube. We're going to be scaling this cube. Now, one of the other problems they had in matter control previously was when you grabbed like the handles here on the cube and stretch it, it didn't update the numbers, which are over here on the side. I don't know if they fixed that or not. It was something I did request. So we'll see here. Like if I go here, I can stretch it higher, or I can move it. That was moving. I can want to stretch or change the width. So I don't remember how to do it on this. So let's see what it is. I don't want to pinch. I don't want to curve. I'm not sure what the little black dots are. I'm going to start over. The little black dots might be the handles for it, so I'm going to grab this one, and I am going to stretch it. Okay, so that stretches it, and you'll notice over here, it did not change the numbers. That is a problem. That should never be that way. These should be linked. Because I like working with dimensions, and I really like things to be a certain way. Let's see, where is my, there it is. So I'm going to be switching this back. So I got my calipers here, my digital calipers. I am going to take the largest one, which is this 10 millimeter right here, and I'm going to measure the length out to the end of this rubber here, out to the end of the rubber here. So I'm going to measure that length. So that's going to be pretty close to 117 millimeters. What I'm going to do, I'm going to actually make it 117 and a half. It says 117.45. I'll make it 117 and a half. It can go a little over, it's not going to hurt me anything. So I'm going to do that and make it 117 and a half, and I'm hoping that the width is the one I'm changing. And that should make it longer. And then I need it to be wider than this because I'm actually going to put a groove into the block. So right now it's at 23.7, we'll call it 24. So I need to be wider than 24. And right now we're at 20. So I want to go with, let's see, I want 24 and a half. And then I need some space on each side. So we'll make it 35. And then height-wise, I don't need to go as high as the full height of this, but I do want to go about half of it. So I'm going to go with like, it says it's 27.75. So I'm going to go with like, I'm going to go with 20 for it. And that'll leave me 7.5 millimeters above the top of the wrench to play with. So I'm going to go with the 20 millimeter. I have to go a little higher because I'm going to have a little thicker wall. So I'm going to make it 25. Okay, so that gives me the first block for this thing. And so what's going to happen now is I'm rotating this around so you can kind of see what I'm going to do here maybe. Really funny, really hard to get things to snap perfectly on the screen. But so I'm going to cut a channel in here that's going to curve like that, basically. And that's what the handle, what the handle is going to fit in is that channel. So we're all the way down the whole length of the cube. And so now I'll grab a cylinder, and I will make it 117.5. So I'll make it 118 in height. And then I'm going to rotate it so that it goes 90 degrees perpendicular. So I'm not sure the menu's on here, so there we go, rotate. So now we're going to rotate 90. That's nice. It doesn't jump. It didn't work. Did it? It just rotated the other way. Like that. There we go. That gives me a 90 degree that way. And now we're going to move this thing, which is basically translating. I don't know what they call it. Oh, translate. Okay. So now I'm going to translate it by moving it over, and I'm going to put it in here. I got it lined up basically with what I want. Oops. Not change my scale. We'll see. What I want to do is I want to try and get this, bring that over. So as you can see, we're getting it here slowly. I made a, like I said, I made a little longer so that it goes past the end, so that way when I have it subtract from the other part, I'll make it a little longer than that even, it looks like. We're going to go back to scale. And I got it 118, I make it 120. And we'll go that way. So what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to get it lined up somewhat centered on the part. It needs to be centered, obviously, like that. But I also need to bring it down. This is it's fun trying to manipulate this thing sometimes. What I do, I want to bring it to like halfway through the cylinder. I don't like the way their thing doesn't snap. You know, it'd be nice if it snapped. Maybe another nice feature. Okay, so we're about halfway through now. Just a little less than halfway, actually. That was about halfway. So, Looks like I'm about halfway through the diameter of it. So what I want to do now is I want to actually cut that out. Let me move this down just a little bit more. Okay, now I want to cut that out. So the way you cut that out, at least this is the way I do it, is I select the part and I say, let's do a, let's see, where is it? Not group, not duplicate. I want to subtract. Now I don't know if it's going to subtract, we'll find out. Oh, didn't subtract. Update. No. I don't know what's called scale. Okay, it's on that scale. Okay, update. So now we got rid of that, right? So that gives me exactly what we want right there. There's my channel. It's now cut through the part. What will happen in a little while, I need to create the piping basically that goes into the pegboard. It's going to come out this side or the other side, doesn't matter which way. And then it's going to, on this, it's going to have two of them on each side, one that's going to go up, that hooks in, and another one just goes straight out. And that's for the fit, so it comes underneath, so you insert it sideways, goes into the pegboard, and then you turn it, and then it locks in with the other piece on the bottom. So it's going to take some measurements to get everything exactly right. I have to go down to my garage and measure the exact distance between the holes on the pegboard. But anyway, that gives us our, anyway, so we're at where we got our nice clean piece here. Now what we got to do is find the center of that, and we're going to put a hole through it that's a little bit larger than the 10 millimeter. So I'm going to make it like, it should be turned off, or power off on the calipers. This, it says it's 10.3, 10.05, 01. So this is a 10 millimeter wrench. And I'm going to make it, probably I'll make a 15 millimeter. That gives me a little bit of slop so I don't have to sit there and get it exactly lined up to get it in the hole when I drop the T-handle in the hole. So that's where we're at with that. We're going to, basically we'll do another cylinder. And we will, did not put that in the center. It should have put it in the center. That's what it should do. But it didn't. So we'll get it kind of in the center here. That looks like it's about centered. Not really. Close. But not perfect. You can see with the other part, there's the center of that part. And a lot of it is just optical illusion too on where its center is compared to the other center. I think it's somewhere else all the time. That's not a very good design there on that. That doesn't give you the exact center. But anyway, this should give me enough. I'm going to change the height, try to make sure it's definitely long enough to go through the whole thing. I want it protruding through the bottom. So I'm going to make it even a little bigger than that. I got it 30, I'm going to make it 40. And then I'm actually going to push it down. Crap. Go here, go to translate. Now we're going to move that down so that it goes through. I want it going through the bottom. I got to recenter it again because it moved on me. Put that there. And I'm going to drag that down some more because I want to see near the edges so I can make sure it's centered. As you can see, it's not perfectly centered. I'd like to be a little closer to center, but I can't quite get there because I trip off one side, trip off the other side. It's like it snaps to the point. I can't really fine tune that. Let's see. I'm assuming that's Y.1. Okay, 1. Okay, that got me a little closer. I'll use that. What I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to go ahead and raise this whole thing up now that I got it kind of centered. And I'm going to do the same thing we did before. I'm going to subtract again. I'm going to grab that, and I'm going to grab that, and I'm going to go back to subtract. And I'm going to say subtract and update. And it went the wrong way. It's funny how it does that, huh? So Control Z to get back. Grab it again. Let's try subtract again. It's funny, it says items to subtract, and it says translate. And of course, do the same thing. Try again. Let's see if I just select one. Nope, it won't let me do that. I got to select both of them. So the way I'm selecting both is you select one, hit shift and select the other, and then they're both highlighted. And then I can say subtract. And I'm going to do this subtract here and see what happens. And it keeps subtracting the wrong one. No matter what I do, it selects the wrong one. And see, here's what's wrong. So right here, items to subtract and translate. No, it should say the cube or the cylinder. Let's try the translate one. Okay, so now you can see it turned kind of invisible or see-through, transparent X-ray, we're going to call it. And now I should have a hole going through this. So now I've got the first basic shape for holding the wrench. Now what I'm going to do is these are actually going to continue. I'm going to make another one like this, and I'm going to do the same thing again, and I'm going to have it mount right next to it. I'll merge them when I do this. So I'll merge the two after I get one done. And what I'm going to do is I'm trying to get the whole set for the metric to be in one continuous rack. And then we'll do the ones for the other, for the what they call ANSI. And we'll do the ones for the ANSI to get them lined up, and we'll make sure everything comes out with pretty much I have two different sets of one for metric, one for standard or ANSI, which is the American standard for doing this. Okay, so basically that's one. I'll worry about the attachments, where it attaches at, after I'm done with all this. I might use more because it's going to be fairly heavy. I might put 3 or 4 of them on here to hold it onto the pegboard. But you kind of get the idea of what I'm doing here. So it's just repeat, repeat, repeat. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I know I have another one somewhere that I can't find right now. I'm looking for it, but I don't see it anywhere. I'm not sure where it disappeared to. Not in there. Well, I know I have another one somewhere. I don't see where it is. But I will find it later. Oh, there it is. I see it now. There it is. That's my 2.5 millimeter. I know I have another one. Okay, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 6 metric ones. What's nice about these T handles, you notice it's got a hex on the end of the T, so you can use it like a big handle, like a big wrench, and turn, using the other end, or you can use it as a standard T handle this way. So that's kind of neat about these wrenches here. So there's 6 of them. I will make another block. So go to scale here. Go to scale here. And that was 117.5. So I need to make another 117.5 block. And we will make that 117.5. 117.5. and it was 35 deep and 25 high. I may not need 35 deep on the second one because it's not as wide as the 10 millimeter is, because this is what makes it wide, is the 90-degree angle for it that you can do. So I mean, it's pretty close to the same. These are actually very close to the same. So the 8 and the 10 are pretty close to the same. I know as we go down, the handles get narrower, yeah, narrower, not as thick. So I'll make it the same for this one, which is then 35-25. So I'll make this one 35. I'll make this one 25. So 25 will be the same all the way. I'm going to go this way because I want my largest one in the back. And what eventually is going to happen is, right now they're not touching, but they will actually overlap each other slightly. So I will move it and it will overlap. I don't want to overlap too much. I don't want to lose too much of my material. That's basically what we're going to do right there. So now, and then I'll do a merge of those two parts once I have the other pieces going. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to duplicate this. I think I can duplicate. Right there, duplicate. And now I got two of them. Okay, when it does that, so now I got another one. And then I'll duplicate again. So that gives me now, I'm going to grab both of these, and I'm going to move them down this way, out of the way. And I'll grab this one, I'm going to move it there. I'll grab this one, and I'm going to move it there. Now we got 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 6 of these to do, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, I got 6 to do. But like I said, it's going to get a little bit smaller as we go. The next one after the 8 millimeter is definitely narrower. So like how wide this part is on it is like 1989 on here, where the 8 millimeter was 23.69, and then the 10 millimeter was like 23.6, 23.7, 23.69. So it's the same. The 8 and 10 were the same. But the next size down, which is the 6 millimeter, is definitely smaller. It's down to like 20 millimeters. So when I do the third one, I'll narrow it up when I get to that point. But for right now, I'm going to do another cylinder, which we're going to make 130, and then we're going to rotate it. And which way we're rotating here? I hate when it does this. I don't know which way it's rotating. Going that way? About 90 degrees or so. Ain't 90, but we'll get it there. Hate that. Doing the wrong one again. So. I can tell doing the right thing or doing the wrong thing. I can't tell. You know, I always have a hard time with this, knowing what it's doing. It's got this whole plane rotated now, which is weird, right? So it's doing that, and when I wanted to rotate up, I guess. No, that's not what I wanted either. Okay. I'm gonna back out. I'm gonna change this thing back to straight like that. I'm gonna change this to 90. I think it's up. Okay, back. Okay. So there's it rotated right way. So you used back, weird. But anyway, okay, so we're rotated 90. Now we'll do the translate. Or I got to select the three dots to do translate. And then we'll move it over here. I'm going to separate these out again so that I can get an idea where they are. Because I want to have this one be right in the middle of this block. I'm going to drag that, it's dragging backwards, not where I want. I was trying to go up and down and it went backwards. See that? It moves forward instead of going up and down. Get that in. Drag that over here. Move up and down. I'm trying to grab the arrow sometimes it doesn't grab properly. Okay, so now I got my second one almost lined up. It looks like it could stand a little more side to side here. Let's see, translation in the Y, I'm going to add 0.5. And that looks a little closer to the middle. And that looks pretty good as far as height goes. So I'm not too worried about the depth of it so much. I just don't want it wrapping back around over the top, you know, but I want it to be somewhat smooth. So that'll give me what I want right there. And then we're going to go back in and we're going to select again and we're going to do a subtract. And we'll do that one. We'll say update. And now I got rid of that. And now we got another, basically another half done. Another piece done. What I'm going to do is put the hole through it, which we will do right now, which we can make smaller now. So we'll make this one about, I think I did the other one 15 or something like that. I'll make this one 10. That's 2 millimeters bigger than my actual hex. The diameter is going to be 10. And I'm going to make my height 40. And then I'm going to move this over to about the center again. So we know where the center is approximately. And it should be pretty close. You know, not going to be, never going to be perfect. You got to get over that thing because their alignment isn't very good, I guess. But it's close to center. It's like when I move the other object, it changes where the position of the center of this is, right? Even though it says you can look at it. Does it look centered? It's hard to tell. Well, it's probably close enough. So we'll do that. We'll do the and move that up and down again. So it goes through all the way. And then we'll select the two. And then we're going to say subtract again. And this time it actually shows cylinder on here. And then we say update. And now I got a hole through this. That's 10 millimeters in diameter. And that'll allow my 8 millimeter to fit through. At least it should. And then we'll repeat this process again. And we're going to do the 6 millimeter. So the 6 millimeter is the first one that actually changes the size of the, so we don't need as large a diameter of for the panel to fit in. This is 20, 19.8. I'm going to make like 22. And I can actually make this smaller now, because I'm going to make it 22. So I'm So I'm going to make that depth 30 instead. The height won't change, that's going to be the same. So I'm going to make a cylinder, and I'm going to make it, I'm going to raise and lower it. Make the height 130. I'm going to make the diameter, yeah, I'm going to make the diameter 20, that's what I said. Okay, so now we're going to rotate that. Okay, and I'm going to 90, and I'm going to say back again, and that'll give me that. Now we've got a nice cylinder here. We're now going to place on our third block here. What is my diameter of this thing? 20? Right? Yeah. What was that? Width was 25. I'm going to change that width to 27. That's height. Oh, I have my depth is 30. Okay, that's right. And this has, hello. I don't know why it's transparent. Oh, it's off the screen. Just let me know it was off the screen. See? Okay, so we're trying to get that moved. We're going to go to translate. Bring that guy down here. Translate this guy this way. Move that guy over that way some more. Raise this guy up some more. And we're pretty close to center. As far as I can tell, I mean, hard to judge it exactly. But that's pretty close. So that'll give me this will be my third one. And this will be my 6mm. And we're going to do the traction. And I am going to subtract. This says translate. They have a lot of bugs in their software. Okay, so I got that one done. And then the size is 6mm. I'm going to do the same size I did here, which is 10mm. I probably should have done that one a little larger, but that's okay. So I'm going to make this diameter is 10, and I'm going to make my height 50 or something like that. Just something like I say, something big enough to go all the way through and down to all the way through it, and then we'll line it up to get centered again. That's pretty darn close already. So that should be pretty close. And now we just go ahead and we'll do the subtraction again like we did before. And we'll say subtract. And we'll choose the cylinder. And you'll say update. And now we got a hole. And now we got our third one. And we put that right next to there, and we'll have them ready to go when we get time. We're ready to get there. A little bit off on the front to back. Still a little off on the front back. We're trying to get not look like one piece, even though they're not joined yet. I'll do the next one, which will give me 1, 2, 3, so this will be number 4. And number 4, so we got the 10, 8, that was a 6. Now we've got a 5. So I think the 5 are, I think the handle's pretty close to the same as the 6mm, or the 20. And yeah, so we're going to do 20 again for the cylinder on it. And I think I went 30 on the depth. Height doesn't change. We're going to put another cylinder on here. We're going to change that. We're going to make that diameter. We're already at 20, so we're already there. 130 in length. And then we're going to rotate it. Angle at 90. And we'll say back. And that'll give us that. And then we'll go here. We're going to translate. We'll put it on that one. I hate that. It just translates it out into nowhere. I don't understand that at all. That way. And then we're going to translate that down a little more. And that'll work. And then we're ready to do the subtraction again. So we start with the cylinder and we do the cube. And then we do the subtract. It'll show that way. But if we start with the cube first, then it'll show cylinder on the menu, it looks like. There you go, we got that. We have our piece done. We're going to do another 10mm hole. No, 10mm ain't going to hurt. We'll do 10 again. Do 10mm again. Make that height 50. And we'll go in here, we're going to translate. Drag that over. Translate down through. And we're going to get this guy moved over to the middle more. And we're pretty close. This parallax is the problem with this, right? We end up with some parallax to the view of where center is. Let me let that rotate a little bit. So you're getting a little bit of parallax in here to where center is. We're pretty close. Alright, so that'll work right there. We'll just put a hole through this. Yeah, I'm not lined up, that's why this doesn't look the same. So we'll do the same thing. We'll select the cube first, we'll select the cylinder, and then we're going to do subtract, and it should show the cylinder as being, nope, this doesn't show it. So translate on that time. As you can see, there's some bugs with the tool that need some work. Okay, so there's that one. We're now at 4. So 5 and 6 to do yet. So you know we're going along here, but it's going to take a bit of time. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and finish up the other ones. I'm not going to video the others. I'll come back and do the video when I do this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to merge these. So I'm going to select all of these, and basically I think it's called combine on here, right there, combine, and that makes it all one piece. So now I select it. Now it doesn't. Well, now it's one piece, but it shows the lines. But it's okay. Well, no, it just shows the lines of the curves, not the actual lines where the cubes used to be. Although there is a little bit offset there, so I need to undo that. still is combined. How do I told it to undo, and all it's doing is just not doing what I want. Undo. There we go. Now there's our pieces again. So that one was off a little bit. You could see there was a little bit of edge sticking out on that piece right there. You can see it. So we go in here and go to translate again. I can move that piece back a little, just a hair more. I don't want to have it happen. It goes too far. It went too far the other way. So maybe move this one. There we go. So maybe that will move it. And nope. Nope. Isn't that funny how it won't move? So I'm going to do that. I'm in translate. So I'm going to say, okay, I want to move that in the X direction 1 millimeter. And see if that fixes it. Or does it go beyond? Okay, so that looks pretty good. This one looks like it goes really good. No error. So what I do is make sure all these are square when we do this, right? Because if they're not square, if they're not perfect and flush, you'll end up with a bit of an error there. We don't want that. So you're going to require that nudging, basically. I don't want to subtract. I don't know why it's back on subtract. That wasn't on subtract. Translate X1 and see if that. Nope, that's too far, right? That went too far. I'll put it back. You see, it's not enough, right? So now we're going to go with like 0.5. You see, that gives me enough. And that looks like it got it, right? There's no line left on the edge, so that these will be flat all the way down the edge. So that's how you do this. You know, highlight them all, and go in here and say combine, and that will make it all one object now. And now we got this nice block that we can work with. And like I said, back here we're going to add the pieces that will be the. But like I said, still have a couple more of these to make. But I just wanted to show you. Don't need to sit here and go through the whole video on every single one of these. I'm going to repeat this whole process. In fact, I'm just going to duplicate this whole thing to do the American size, the ANSI size. So that's where we're at. Hope you enjoyed this. I'll come back with a part 2, or maybe I'll probably just edit it together, given how long the video is. But if it's long, I'll make it a part 2. And I'll show the process of adding the pieces where it actually will mount into the pegboard. I may have to add a piece back here to back this and make it longer to give it more strength against the pegboard, so it doesn't want to flop over and fall. But I'll see. You know, I just have to play with it a little bit and see how it goes. So that's where we're at. I hope you enjoyed that. This eventually will be exported out. You know, we'll save it, we'll export it as an STL file, and then I'll 3D print it, and it'll go on my pegboard in my garage where I have all my other printers at. In fact, this will get printed on a printer out there in my garage. This is my workshop, basically. My office is also a workshop, but I'm trying to use my office more for doing the video stuff and not so much for printing. I just don't have the room. I don't have the room. This office is fairly small. Setting up 7 printers, my desk, and all the other stuff I have in here for all my other hobbies, building models and doing all the other stuff I need. Don't have enough room. So this is where it is. My room is fairly messy, even though you can't really tell by looking on the camera. So I'm always very careful making sure where my cameras are so it doesn't create, you don't see the mess. Okay, so that's where we are. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you next time. This is Build It. Talk to you later. Bye.